This is why I'm here. Not why me, try me. Doctors don't know. After the surgery, surgeon, who was great, told my wife, there's a good chance he might not ever walk again. 9 days later, I was walking. Ready, go. Action. So yeah, I started off with, I'll show you guys this. I got my Diesel on a pillow. Diesel on a pillow. So he gets to sleep in bed with me every night. Some of the other things that help, well, has helped me really kind of turn the page with positivity and really kind of helped me focus on getting better and help me getting better. And that's friends, non-blood here, family, we'll call it that, non-blood family. And they are what I consider my life support on for a lot of things. Has really stepped to the plate for me. And from day one, when he found out that I had cancer, this gentleman who I've known for a really long time just jumped into the driver's seat of finding ways to help me. And that's my longtime friend, Tom McCarter, who, not only jumped into the driver's seat, but he found someone that was able to help me in the medical field to get into rehabs when we kept hitting a brick wall before Tom was able to get his friend Marcy to help. And Marcy helped my sister Nicole not only get me into rehabs, but advocate for me against facilities that weren't treating us right or weren't doing the right things, or things in the hospital that weren't going according to plan. Marcy was able to step to the plate and jump into that driver's seat, I like to call it, and again advocate for me, just to say the right things, because I'm not in that field, that I didn't know what to say or where to go with things. And she was just wonderful, and she's been wonderful. And if it wasn't for Tom, I wouldn't have had Marcy to help.
How'd you guys meet?
Well, actually, it's funny. We met years ago. Are you talking about Tom?
Oh, yeah.
Years ago is not even the word. I moved to Jersey from Staten Island, and Tom was one of the first people I met when I went to the bus stop, not knowing anybody. I come from Staten Island, I moved to Jersey. I wasn't happy about the move because I'm young at the age. I'm like 14.
Jersey.
It's Jersey. You're moving to the Jersey Shore, and you're a city kid, used to the city buses and subways, things like that. And you come to Jersey, the Jersey Shore. It's like, I don't know. I just didn't want to be there. So I wasn't happy with the move to begin with. So I didn't really have any friends. So I met Tom early on because he came up and he friended me, and seemed like a cool kid, and we just became friends. We kind of kept the friendship. From there we went on into high school, and we got a little group of us, a couple guys, couple girls that all hung out together all the time, and you know, it was fun. He was always been the kind of guy who was, you know, a phone call away, but he'll say to everybody, he'll say, you know, Anthony's always been the guy who's always been there for me. He protected me, and you know, I did do a lot for him, you know, as far as protecting him. If he had problems in school or problems outside of school, I'd be like, you missing, you know, you got a problem with Tom? And they'd right away be like, nah, you know. So it was my way of protecting him was to be the muscle in the group, and it's kind of how our friendship always went. It was like, oh, well, besides getting Marcy involved, he you know, he was visiting quite often, and he's got a lot going on himself, you know, with his own life, you know, managing his kids and everything that he's got going on personally, which is not small. He would come and visit, bring me a coffee early in the morning, knowing that I hate hospital coffee. And these rehabs, the coffee sucks. He would bring me a coffee, and he would come just to talk and not talk about cancer, you know, just talk about old times and, you know, things like that. But he consistently does it, and you know how much that meant to me. You know, constantly just being there, calling or texting, things like that. You know, but he definitely was someone that stepped to the plate, and he came to visit me when I was up north, sick. When he first found out I was sick and I had my surgery, came up, drove the 6-hour drive, and you know, stayed for only a few hours, and then had to drive all the way back same day. You know, he's just been awesome throughout this whole thing. So thank you, Tom. Thanks for being loyal and a brother to me. I love you, man. Yeah, that's that.
So honestly, like the best boss that I've ever had.
I met Anthony when I would always go into Boboku's after school with all my friends, and he just, I don't know, he had a very caring energy about him. He always brought us either free fried Oreos or the Love Chips, and I would eat that shit right up. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on this, so sorry.
So he always set the bar very high when it came to expectations, but you know, his expectations weren't the kind that were too daunting. They didn't feel unrealistic.
I was kind of getting harassed by one of the new managers, and it was causing me a lot of distress, and I like honestly wanted to quit because of it. And as soon as it was brought to his attention, he was like, this is unacceptable, cross the line, fired on the spot. And that was a huge like sigh of relief for me.
I always felt like he had my back no matter what. And because of that, I felt like, you know, success was inevitable there.
But then I got hired there at Boboku's Burritos, and he taught me how to cook. That's where my love for cooking and, you know, better eating and knowing that I can do it myself really came into play.
But besides work, you know, just being around that kind of person who's pushing you and has no doubt that whatever you want to achieve, you're going to achieve, is beneficial. I feel like because I met him at a critical time in my life where, you know, I was going through college, I took some risks and did some things that I might not have done. I had such a good example of who a leader was, and I knew while going to college and, you know, deciding what my future was going to look like that I didn't know much, but if I knew anything, I knew that if I eventually became a boss or a leader someday, I wanted to be like Anthony.
And the second thing I remember is I asked him to do a fundraiser for my senior class, and he went totally above and beyond for me, bought like raffle tickets and raffled off like a bike, and just really made it bigger and better than it needed to be, like a simple little fundraiser. fundraiser. So I'm very thankful for that.
You know, besides him being my previous boss, he's a lot more than that. He's definitely become a really great friend and obviously a mentor. We've stayed in touch throughout the years. I've known him since I was 18 now, which I'm 26, so that's a long time.
And we still talk to this day, honestly. I've had a million managers at Bubba Cruise, trust me. But I still talk to Ant like all the time. He orders my supplements, he orders my protein bars, and I'm super, super thankful that he does that.
I think way before he had cancer, he was a fighter. I think if you know him, you know that he's somebody who never gives up. He's always the strongest person in the room. And I don't just mean physically, I definitely mean, you know, mentally too. I always know that I can count on him.
And it's honestly just inspiring and like admirable to me that he's sitting in a hospital bed or like a rehab facility. And he's like, just ordered my greens and my protein bars. And I'm like, damn, I have clients that use like a test as an excuse. This guy's out here still trying to be his most best and healthiest self when everything in his body is trying to fight against that. And that's just really like inspiring to me.
I think being able to support others and lift people up is the biggest kind of strength that you could have. It takes like a real, you know, good person to put everyone else before themselves. So that's it.
And I know if anybody can beat this or fight the crud out of it, it's definitely Ant. And I'm glad that I can be a friend for him during this time.
Just a great guy all around, always willing to help, and I love you, Ant.